Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial for ethical hacking and penetration testing via Kali Linux. Before I proceed with my next topic, just one thing that I'd like to continue from my previous tutorial for the harvester would be just go ahead and check what result would you get if you go ahead and run the facebook.com. So you might be wondering that you would get lots of things, but no, you won't get lots of things. The reason being that it's not getting the email IDs from the database. It's only getting the email IDs of the people or the person who go ahead and mail out stuff to you, like from the help side or the warning side or any other thing that the Facebook wants you to know. So you might be thinking that the way you got multiple things from Google, you'll get the same thing from the Facebook, but it won't. The reason being that Facebook has kept it much more, tried to keep it much more secure by lowering as low as they can for the minimum amount of email IDs they have. So this is through one, but we'll just go ahead and check through all and let's see if we get the same thing. And so you can see we have 2 email IDs and we have a total of 5 hostname IP addresses. So the mtouch is for the, I believe it's for the cell phones. Again, this is for the cell phone without touch, normal Facebook, the developers, and the blog one. Let's check what we get over here. I believe we did not get anything in the PGP server. So, and Bing has lots of results, I believe, because even in the first 50 results it got something. Let's go ahead and start the normal term of the harvester. And let's check whether it goes through Shodan. Okay. No, I believe it does not go through Shodan. Perfect. So as you can see that when I went ahead and tried to use, okay, I have loads of other things. I tried to use all of these things. I got n number of email IDs than the one I got over here. So these are, I believe, some of them may be the administrator, some may be the person who are trying to go and keep network on the chat or trying to keep them safe. So the firewall people. So these are the list of all the people who go and manage the Facebook from day to day. So yeah, it's good enough. I can see, as far as I can see. Fine. So now this is just for this is through a social networking website. If you go ahead and check the same through any random company, so let's check some of the big shot companies. Let me think. We have Microsoft. No, I want some random companies. Let's check what do we get. And perfect. So let's go ahead and take this website. My connection is a bit slow. I'll just type Indian. Okay, let me check whether my Google is working or not. Okay, it is working. Okay, perfect. So I won't go over there, but now you know how you can go ahead and get all the IDs or the email IDs. If you're looking at it from a company's point of view, you can gather multiple things. And yesterday I also showed you one more thing which is related to whois, and you can go ahead and gather a lookup over here. But again, if you're using Google and if you're going ahead and gather information, your efforts can still be traced. So there is one better thing. Rather than searching it over here, I can go ahead and do the same thing over here on my terminal. So I'll just clear everything and I'll type whois and I'll type google.com, or I'll just type a better one, microsoft.com, since that is a more private company than Google. Perfect. So even without using any kind of tool, I just went ahead and typed whoisgoogle.com and it gave me all the information. So it starts from over here. Server name is microsoft.com. Goddamn, okay, I'll just ignore that. So IP addresses, and this is the fake one, I believe. That's the reason it gave me. And I have, okay, Fine. So the as you can see that any random website that starts with Microsoft.com are given over here, even if it's a fake one. So as you can see that these are a bit abusive, but they are a fake. That's the reason it is still gave it out, because these are the fake ones. Only the ones ending with Microsoft.com are the real one. Everything else is fake. So you can go. So this is better than just going ahead and searching over the web, because the web will only give you a specific, or it will go ahead and narrow it down to the original Microsoft.com. Whereas when you go ahead and try it Linux, it will go ahead and give you all the websites that starts with Microsoft.com. So you can also go ahead and check, let's say, google.com, and you will get even the fake websites created by us, or which are the names which are similar to google.com. And yes, as you can see that these are the fake addresses. And so next time if you get any kind of mail from these addresses, make sure that you know that these are fake and these are not the real one. You can check the whois server, the directory, and if you want to gather much more information, then you can just type whois and you can type help. Okay, let me check. Okay, and you can go ahead and tag all these things to get a much better information about any random thing that you're trying to get. So that would be it from this end for whois and the previous one. Now I'll be reporting up next to DNSenum, which is quite a useful tool, and I showed you again yesterday several tools related to DNS information gathering, but this time we would be doing it through again our terminal. And so there is a separate tool for all DNS analysis in Kali Linux, and as you can see, I'll be teaching you all of these things, starting with the smallest one and the first one, and I may leave out one or two if I think that they are not that good in collecting information, but I'll still teach you the most important ones. So as you can see, we have loads of other tools, and we will almost be learning 90% of them in these tutorials starting from now on. So these are vulnerability analysis for the websites, checking how secure they are. These are for the web applications running online. These are offline attacks. And password attacks can be much faster if you have a graphic card with you, because most of the times, or almost all of the times, password attacks are cracked by graphic cards. The reason being that they are much faster than a normal CPU. That's why. So we have your wireless tools, exploitation tools, sniffing, spoofing, maintaining access, reverse engineering, and many more. So starting with the DNSenum. This tool is programmed by in Perl. And DNSenum is a tool that it was designed with the purpose of enumerating DNS information about a domain. We can get information by using DNS tool, a DNSenum tool over here. So what it does is that it gets the host address, the name servers, the MX records. It tries the zone transfers. It gets the bind version. It also gets the extra names and subdomains via Google scraping. Brute force subdomains from file can also perform recursion on subdomain that have NS records, and it can also go ahead and perform reverse lookups on net ranges, and it can also go ahead and write down domain IPs into a text file naming such as IP block or something. So you can just go ahead over here to start DNSenum. You can just type DNSenum over here in the terminal, but I would prefer, if you're a newbie, I would prefer going ahead over here and then starting it through over here. Perfect. The reason being I'm telling you that is because, and you should read all of these things, because it will give you quite a better idea as to what each of these tags does and how they work exactly. So it's not quite that hard as well. And as you can see, we have the option for skipping the reverse lookups, disable uncircular output, and we can also include the sub files over here, the TCP, UDP, datagram, timeout values. So in short, we have almost everything. We also have the whois command over here, which I can go ahead and combine, and I have multiple lookups. So this will give you, so this is how the geeky look of the DNSenum looks like. So if you want to gather information about a specific website, just go ahead and add a specific website's name, and make sure that even in the previous tools that I showed you on Kali Linux, you never go ahead and type, let's say, I'll just open another one. Let's say if you're using any random tool, so I'll just type random, Random is the name of the tool, any tool you are using. And if you want to go or gather information about a website, let's say Google or Microsoft, so you don't type www.google.com, you just type google.com. You don't type www, because if you do that, then there may be some kind of complications which happens in Kali Linux. It is not able to recognize that properly and you will get some errors. So we don't go ahead and do www.google.com, we just do google.com. Yes, I'll be using these. So let's assume that we wanted to gather information about Facebook. So extra names and subdomains can also be found out via Google scraping, and most of the time this is not working with all domains, but it does work sometimes. So let's go ahead and first gather information using DNSenum, and we'll type facebook.com. And let's see what information we get. Okay, so we have the name servers over here, the IP addresses of each server. Now it's trying to get a zone transfer. It failed because I did not provide any brute force file or any password file so that it can go ahead and crack the DNS query. So, but we can still go ahead and type some extra subdomains or via Google scraping. So we will just go ahead and try to do that, and let's check what we get. So I'll type DNSenum, and I'll type, let's say, P5S20 facebook.com. Perfect. So what it does is that P is the number of pages that it would check, and I have provided over here as 5, so 5 pages it would check, and 20 is the number of Google search pages to process. The default is 20 pages, which I have provided, and S is the switch that must be specified, and minus S is the scrap value, so the maximum number of subdomains that will be scrapped. And since this is not functional, you can manually run this command in a Google search, such as all in www.sitename, and you will still get the same thing. So I'll first go ahead and run this over here, and after that I'll go ahead and run the same thing to Google, and I'll show it to you. Let's check if we get some more stuff. Zone transfer won't work because the reason being that I have not yet provided any random file to it. It has started scraping subdomains from Google for facebook.com. So let's check what we get. Perfect. So it is scraped, but it did not get anything because Google is most probably blocking the queries. But this is how it works, and I'll show you how it works in Google if I go ahead and do the same thing. So I'll just type all perfect. Let's see what we get. Perfect. So we have all the subdomains for Facebook and who all are using them. So you can see that we have it for www.facebook.com, and these are all the subdomains for these different people who have been using them. So you can go ahead and gather this information, and I'll finally show you how we can go ahead and brute force. So just in case this tool is not working, you can go ahead and gather information over there, and then you can go ahead and come back over here to brute force these things. So brute force subdomains open terminal, and it can go ahead, I'll just show it to you. So I'll just type DNSenum -f DNS.txt. Over here, DNS.txt would be your text file which contains n number of passwords, and you need to save it over here in the home. And I'll just go ahead and add it. Let me check if I can go ahead and okay. Perfect. So I don't think that I can go ahead and show. Okay, never mind. So DNS-F. So F is the file name that it provides. It supports, and it will read the subdomains from this file to perform the brute force. So what you could do, you could go ahead and create a DNS.txt file, have all the subdomains in the F, and you can go ahead and brute force to check which subdomains it has. And you can go ahead and type facebook.com. It won't work over here because I have not yet specified anything inside the DNS.txt file. If it had, then it would have checked all these things for the subdomains, and then it would have given me out the proper answer. So that would be it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'll be teaching you more about the different tools that we can see over here. Let me just getting more information about DNS, DICT, DNS map, recon, and all these stuff. So, yep.